Okay, we're good. All right, so welcome. We're here tonight to look at the full moon in Aquarius. And as I've shared with other full moons, the overall theme of 2020, I always give it a theme, is creating a new world, uncovering deep truths for the evolution of humanity. And we're certainly seeing much evidence of the need for evolution of humanity. So Aquarius is fixed air, and the sun is in Leo, which is fixed fire. So we have some interesting energies that we're working with. And what I'm finding out about this particular moon is that this is the moon that's calling for major change, and it's calling on visionaries, galactic rabble-rousers, and agents for change to gather into groups under Aquarius. Aquarius in the astrology is one of the 4 us signs. So it's universal, it's community, it's getting together, whereas the first 4 signs of the zodiac are I, the next 4 are we, and Aquarius is part of the us. And I think that's an important focus right now because our country has been so much individualistic, and we went through the 80s with self-everything. And now it's time for us to really find, our kin in the spiritual world and begin to develop some strategies for how we are going to actualize this new world that we're all wanting. And so we're instructed to gather and also to take wing for the benefit of mankind and become universal kindred spirits. So another thing that's going on right now is Lionsgate, which really began as a portal. It began on July 26th and it goes till the 11th or 12th of August. And any portal is an opening. I don't know if any of you have been to the portal in Peru. I'm trying to, Lake Titicaca is the area. It's the Amatera, Peru, something portal. I've been there. But a portal is a place that's easier for us to move in and out. What? What? I didn't hear you.
IU Marca? That's the one I went.
No,
IU Marca.
No, it was the Amatera something. But anyway, any portal is a place where time and space suspend, and we can go directly and connect with the other world. And we don't have to go to Peru, or we don't have to go to, others, quote unquote, sacred sites to find that. I found an amazing portal in a little known park in Albuquerque called Elena Gallegos. It's just that we find ourselves somewhere in nature and experience a moment when we realize we're no longer connected to the time and space continuum. So that's partly what the 8/8 is, that August 8th is the most powerful. And we've also just passed Lunasa, and that was a time of the first harvest. In the Celtic tradition, the first harvest is Lunasa, the second is the fall equinox, the third is Samhain. So that's part of their calendar year. These are times of celebration, times of change, and we're certainly in our own little glitch of change right now in the United States and around the world with COVID-19 and all the different reactions. And of course, we've got political chaos going on. It's adding to it. So it's a time when we really want to remember what we're seeing and what we're experiencing, how much of it is illusion and how much of it is truth. And if you've ever studied the Course in Miracles, then you know that the only truth is love and everything else is an illusion. And sometimes that works for us, and sometimes we're kind of like, what do you mean? So I've done a lot of study in all of that, and I do believe that, and most of the time I can stay with that, so I hope you can too. So we're going to start by doing the calling in ceremony. Let me get my equipment here. So if you just want to direct your attention to the directions, I know that you're kind of laid back here, so you don't need to stand to do it, but we're going to start with an invocation to the spirits of the East.
You just muted.
I think so. How could I mute?
No.
Hold on.
You're starting to come back now.
Okay, all right. Where was I? Okay. Guide us with your light to open our eyes and picture a new world. Let clarity, wisdom, and illumination guide us to others for us to create think tanks and salons via the interweb, sharing what will be inspired and moving us to greatness. Let us revisit old writings of the masters whose wisdom is still relevant this day. Help us to call through the wisdoms being presented until we discover the one that vibrates and best matches our being. May we honor the element in our locale that is most prevalent. Gift us recognition with new sight to view beyond what this earth experience seems to be and what opportunities it truly offers. Winged ones, eagle, butterfly, dragonfly, blue heron, hummingbird, all teach us to lighten ourselves that we may shed false burdens and alight on the golden threads of a dawning world. And I just ask you to close your eyes for a moment and begin to see a beautiful setting in which you see those beautiful streams of golden light coming from the heavens, and recognize that that is a signal to us, an invitation to us to begin to enter this new space, this new world, and really work on our ascension. And so to those creativity illuminators and the masters, we say luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía. And so it is. And we turn to the west, the direction of the illusion, the opposite of the illumination. And we ask for the guides through illusion to help us soften our focus so that the illusions become transparent and are released into the nothingness for which they came. Teach us to connect the Nagual threads that we can indeed build the rainbow bridge between the worlds. Let us take time to examine the lessons of our life, gleaning wisdom from those that have most impacted us. Allow us sufficient introspection to complete this veil work. And finally, give us the strength to finish our task here and become free of encumbrances. Like the corn on the husks in the fields during this corn moon, let our core be protected with beautiful silken threads. Allow us to honor the element that best represents our current location. May the dream initiators visit us in our sleep like muses and fill us with instructions for completions. Lion, be our animal guardian this night. Help us to stand tall and majestic as examples for others whose life is bending or breaking right now. Gift us the energy of transformation and the fortitude to see this journey through to its natural unfolding. May we dream the dreams that never were and say, why not? And so we close our eyes in the West and we think of the journey we've made so far in our lives, 60, 70 years, whatever, wherever we're at on that journey. Everything that we've brought to this moment that has prepared us for this time. So let us see beyond those veils and recognize that in all darkness there is a pinpoint of light that leads us back to illumination. And so it is, luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía. And then we're going to turn to the north, the direction of our ancestors. And we're going to call on the ancestors. Ancestors,
This is what's not working.
our grandparents,
Not flashing.
come this night and join our circles, whispering your knowing and experiences that we may recognize the work you've done and where we are to extend that baton to those who come after. Let us more thoughtfully take steps on the lands you've walked on, knowing that footprint is the map that we are to follow. As we acknowledge first harvest, may we touch the soil in a new, more conscious way and know by its feel the history of all who've toiled to seek sustenance and life on this earth. May we find a bit of good soil and make a mud poultice to place on our bodies in remembrance of the others whose fires and dances came before us. May we choose to be cleansed, purified, and renewed this night in body, in mind, and in spirit, in thought, in word, and deeds. Let gentleness and sweetness be the key words we use to summon our destiny. Awaken our luminous bodies that we may walk upon this earth enlightened. White Buffalo, may we seek the truth in the stories in your eyes of the promised 1,000 years of peace. Kindly remind us that we're an integral part of manifesting that reality on this earth now. As we acknowledge the fullness of the moon, may we remember the circles and cycles, the seasons, and the fullness of this human vehicle. Let us continue the work in grace and in dignity. And I invite you in the silence and the quiet to ask for one of your ancestors, perhaps not someone you knew, perhaps someone you knew, to be with you this night, that you feel supported and you understand this continuum of your soul group that you've taken forward and will ultimately hand off to the next generation. Luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía. And then we turn to the south, the direction of the faith protectors and guardians of innocence. And we ask them to restore wonder in our lives this night. Let us joyfully anticipate the changes that bring us closer to true fulfillment, magic, and deep abiding peace. Whichever passage we're in now in life cycles, let this be accomplished by working with fire. As we're able, let us feed a virtual or real fire, the twigs of our past representing the lessons of this lifetime, and pay homage. May growth, trust, and love prevail here in our circle. Let no acts of love and forgiveness go unsaid. Let us take actions to express ourselves and no longer hold within those words from others. Spiritual warriors are empowered by loving and forgiving, and so let that be with us. As all of these releases transpire, help us to become detached and come into balance. May the gentle, feminine, and playful spirit of Otter Woman join us this night. Help us to be unashamed of our physical vehicle and express loving kindness to this bodysuit. Guide our footsteps as we gently walk our pathway, gaining strength and momentum along the way. Let us let go of fear and uncertainty. Grant us the faith and the trust to acknowledge who we truly are, and gift us the grace to celebrate our own pathway and those of others we may not understand. So in the quiet, I'm going to invite you to bring your little child in an age at which perhaps you were still in wonder, you were less domesticated by your parents and all the systems around. So let that little Creek girl or boy come in and join the circle. We need so much to return to that innocence. And if you notice, some of the masters had such a gleeful, playful way of being as children. It's important for us to follow that example. So we welcome our little inner beings in this circle tonight, and we thank them for coming. Luz, paz, amor, conciencia, armonía. And then we're going to focus on Father Sky above. Direct our attention upward. Father Sky above, provider of the sun, moon, and stars that remind us of our origins. Shine your light on this gathering that we may be illumined. Divine Masculine, gift us the harvest of our experiences in greater illumination under the influence of this full Aquarian moon. Honor our tribute to you. Show us the light of our true selves. Bless us with upliftment. And the poet said, a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Heaven, of course, is a state of mind. It's a state of being in the fifth dimension. So let us just send that energy upward and let that light from the heavens pour through our beings, lighting that eternal fire and reminding us we are star beings here for a short time to learn and to share and to bless this planet. So it is. And then we'll focus on Mother Earth wherever your feet are. Mother Earth below, provider of all that sustains and nourishes our earth walk, we ask that you provide a strong foundation and that you forgive us our unconscious acts of harm upon you. Divine Feminine teaches to honor and acknowledge and connect with the animals, the plants, the minerals, the Devic and angelic kingdoms, elemental beings, and humans of all persuasions. Guide us on this earth walk that we may walk in beauty and become true earth stewards. Bless us with seasons to grow by and understanding of your needs. And we just send our energy now downward through our legs, down through the roots of the earth. And we offer gratitude for this amazing planet, for all that inspires us, the mountains, the seas, the fields of grain, the flowers, the fruits, the vegetables, all that we harvest. Let us just say thank you. Thank you for everything that you gift us. And so it is. And now I'm going to ask you to place your hand over your heart as we call in the spirit within. We call in our inner selves to move us in the direction of peace. As we place our hands on our hearts, let us feel the warmth and support that our inner selves always offers us. Let us recognize the goodness and the wholeness within that is our given right and claim it. Grant us an ever-increasing ability to unconditionally love, to accept, to understand, to forgive, and to acknowledge others. Gift us patience with self and others. Let us renew the quest for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We ask that our journey toward peace within spill out and overtake our exteriors, that we are spiritual beings having a material experience of the highest order. And so feel the heat as you place your hand on your heart. That's the fire of our essential being, our inner fire, our essence. And we begin to feel that heat. And if you close your eyes, you may see a golden pink light. And in that light is great healing. And we ask that light to completely embrace our physical being, our bodysuit now, and then extend it beyond ourselves to our locale, wherever we are, around our states or our estados, then out beyond the borders of our countries, across all land masses, to all of the oceans, to every corner of our mother, with an intention for love and healing. And so it is. We honor the East, the West, the North, the South, and all our relations, the Takuyasin, and so it is. So now we're going to get our little bowl of our water, and we're going to bring it in front of us. It's a little bit more of a challenge because I've got my computer and all this other stuff here. Okay. So what I'm going to suggest is that you dip your fingers in the bowl and gently wash your hands, saying, I prepare myself for releasing all the old inhibiting forms and thoughts and moving cleansed into a beautiful new world, a world that I will in concert create with others. And I'll repeat that again, but just go ahead and wash your hands. And just acknowledge as you're doing that, that you're letting go of the old, of the things that didn't work. Although we honor them for bringing us to this moment. And then just wipe your hands gently. And we'll say together, I prepare myself for releasing
Prepare myself for releasing
all of the old inhibiting forms
all of the old inhibiting forms
and thoughts,
and thoughts,
and moving cleansed
and moving cleansed
into a beautiful new world,
to a beautiful new world,
a world that I will in concert
a world that I will in concert
create with others.
create with others.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And now, remember I asked you to think of a color for your sand? So what color did you choose, Meredith?
Purple.
Okay, Corky uses purple?
Yes.
Okay, and Barb?
Maroon.
Maroon, okay, and Meredith? Meredith, did you hear me? Looks like she's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that happens with
Not the
them.
best connection in Mexico.
That's what Ilona has said many times, that, you know, Meredith, are you there? She's coming back, I guess. Okay, give this a second so she can join us.
I chose
Meredith.
yellow.
Yellow? Did you say yellow?
Yellow.
Okay, good, good.
Yellow.
Okay, all right, so I want you to imagine that there's a beautiful crystal vessel in front of us, and that it's in our circle. And one at a time, you know, you've mentioned your color, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the sand ceremony. Each time the oceans ebb and flow, sand.
Meredith, could you put yourself on mute? There's something really weird going on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Each time the ocean tides ebb and flow, sand on the beach is changed. Patterns that existed at low tide are washed clean at high tide. As waters recede, a brand new picture emerges. As each of us individually pour the sands representing our lives into this universal container, we're witness to this new creation and merged sands of time. So we're all going to say together, as each of us pour our sand. So right now, imagine that we have this container in front of us, and you're each going to pour your sand. So Meredith, you're going to pour your yellow. Corky, you're going to pour your purple. Barb, you're going to pour your maroon. And I'm going to pour green. Okay. So we're going to say together, I release this, whatever color, sand for the unification of beings on the planet. This night, we're making a lasting commitment to share the rest of our journeys with souls of this plane in need of spiritual succor. This commitment is symbolized through the pouring of sands of the colors of the rainbow. Each of you comes to this place tonight with unique strengths, vulnerabilities, and histories. As individuals, you are beautiful people all your own. Yet when these sands are blended together, we form something even more beautiful. Those strengths can blossom, our vulnerabilities are cared for, and we allow ourselves to soar. So imagine that you see this beautiful sand-colored vessel, and that it will help us embark on a journey of loving and strong relationships. So now we're going to start going into the meditation, and this is called Finding the Music and Dance from Within. And I'm going to grab my phone because I got some Celtic music that I'm going to play for part of it. All right. I also need to remember to do not disturb. Very good. Okay. All right. We're at music. Okay. On the hillsides in Ireland, on the evening of Lunasa, there is singing and dancing around the fires. There's sometimes drunken songs and jumps across the fire for hours. It's a let loose time of merriment to celebrate the harvest. Kith and kin gathering, bringing food and beverages, songs and stories. Everyone has one of their dancing boots or shoes on. Drums set the beat, and the rhythm aligns with the beat of Mother Earth. So I'm going to invite you now to begin to focus on your breath. I'd like to have you place your hands over your solar plexus and take 3 very deep breaths. The first breath, you're going to breathe in through your nose. You're going to hold it gently and then breathe out through your mouth. And just do this at your own pace. And I'll give you a couple minutes and then we'll start the meditation. So gently close your eyes now. We're going to go on a little journey. We're going to travel in our mind's eye to the green hills of Ireland. So choose whatever travel vehicle you prefer. And let yourself rapidly transfer your thoughts and your magical attention to the verdant hills. Take a moment to get there and feel comfortable, and be sure to bring your dancing shoes. It's dusk in the land of elves and fairies, among the green lands of the Celts. Wildflowers of every hue cover the hills and adorn many of the women's hair. Men have their suspenders hitching up their trousers, and they're all ready to dance. And as you join them now, perhaps you'll see some faces you recognize from another lifetime, or perhaps you've been to Ireland and you have some friends there that you would want to be in circle. And notice that you're being very warmly welcomed. They're excited that you've come tonight. So take a little time now to meet and greet everyone with a smile and a flower that you've somehow gathered as you climb the hill. Drums and horns begin to beat, and you hear them, and you find your foot starting to tap to the rhythm. You observe the steps and easily replicate them. And soon you're dancing and singing with abandon. Your clothing is in a whirl as you move about, kicking up your heels and moving without giving the least little thought to the opinions of others. You are freer than you've felt for a very long time. So take some time now to dance and sing, drink and shout, and express your unique being. It's late into the night now, in the final hours before dawn. Most of the people who have fallen asleep or passed out from enjoyment and booze. And you look to the woods and you begin to see fairies and elves walking toward you in the quiet. They warmly greet you and invite you into the forest. And you've no concern for leaving and following them. In a clearing, they form a circle around you. And as they do, everyone, including you, becomes luminous. You feel out of body and you feel free. And a beautiful being descends into the circle and faces you now. Their aura is completely surrounded with golden rose threads and crystals. You're awed and you give them a little bow. And this being looks deeply into your eyes and you see yourself in many incarnations rapidly through many lifetimes. And the being then asks you, what wisdom can I impart this day for you to fully embody the beauty and strength that you truly are? How can I guide you further towards the dimensional shift? In the quiet now, ask those questions and hear the answers. Magically, you find that you're back at the Luna fires, which are now embers, and all of the people have gone home. And you circle the embers and you say a heartfelt thank you. Thank you, one and all. And rapidly, you descend back to the moment, feeling light and free and much more positive about the place and person you are at the present. And slowly you allow yourself to come back to the call. When you're ready, you can turn your video back. So how did that feel?
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay. Well, it was great because I learned before I moved here that my great-grandmother is Irish, was born in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And her name was Mary Kelly. Go figure.
It's a great
So
Irish
I
name.
actually got to see my grandfather's birth certificate, and I didn't know that, because I didn't know him well. I only met him twice in my life, but his mother was born in Ireland. That was so
Wow,
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Well, on my paternal grandfather's side, I'm McGarry.
Stirred
Much
my
more.
Irish soul, and I just watched it like a dancing video before this call, and I was like, ready. I'm so ready to dance again. Oh my God, it's been way too long.
Meryl Streep is in a movie called Dancing at Lunasa, and you can watch it on Prime Video. And
I've heard of it.
lots of
Yeah.
dancing in it, yeah. And
Great.
Corky and Barb, how did you guys do?
So the sound was kind of weird. We're having trouble hearing anyway because our external speaker wasn't working, and we'd hear the music for 2 seconds and then it would go away for about 15 seconds.
Right.
And then, so we kind of were, fiddling with the sound. And so we kind of didn't really get into it, I would say, probably.
Well, I have recorded it, so I will put the recording up on YouTube. And
Okay.
my YouTube channel is just Amari Magdalena. So you'll find it. It'll take me probably till tomorrow to get it up there because I have to fiddle around, figure out where they put it on my computer, go through a few little steps. But mostly it was just a journey to Ireland to kind of celebrate the fires of this time, to transcend some of our worries or concerns and be light and free and prepare more to help others on this plane lighten up during this time of relative darkness.
Yeah, felt great. Thank you.
I'm glad that you joined us.
Yeah.
So,
Nice to see your outlines, Corky and Barb. I can see just barely your outlines of your head.
Yeah, it's nighttime here. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Thanks for coming in. Good to
yeah.
hear
All
from
right.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
You're welcome. Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Corky and Barb. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Meredith, thanks for coming. A couple other people just didn't show up, but you never know. Now that I'm recording them, sometimes they think too, they'll just wait for the recording, but it's nicer to have people, you know.
Oh, I know. I like live things. I never go back and listen to things. That's the trouble. I think I'm going to, and then I never do because something live comes along and I'm on that,
Right,
So-
exactly. Yeah, but it was great
Yeah.
seeing you. And it looks
Good to
like you're
see you.
having a wonderful experience there. I'm going to stop the recording here. Okay,
Yeah.
let me get to the stop recording.